Hello there, friend and fellow maker. You've got Bill in the shop today along with
Britt.
And we are making a prop from one of our very favorite video games. A game we both played in the early 90s, like well before we even met. What game is that, Britt?
Myst.
You heard her. Myst is just, it was groundbreaking for the time. It was the best-selling video game for a decade until The Sims took it over. And we actually recently played through Resin, which I had never played.
And that one's my favorite. It's a sequel to Myst. It kind of is more of everything Myst, and it's just such a good game.
So fantastic, so wonderful. And of course, if you're gonna make something from Myst, you gotta make the book.
I've always wanted to have a Myst book.
And this book is even more legit. I'll get into that in a second, but our goal is we wanna have the Myst book on our shelf. This looks the part. It's going to have the text on it. Probably have to get rid of this text on the original book here. But also, we thought it'd be fun to throw in a feature and have a screen. So we have this old cell phone that we're going to install in there so that it can both play the Myst game on it and run the video looping of the Myst Island fly around. But this book, this is a very specific book, and we got it from a guide that we found on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, if you just Google how to make a Myst book, this is like one of the two first results. It's by a maker named RIUM+. He put together a whole blog on his build on how he made his Myst book, and he did a lot of the work for us. He found out the very specific book that they used for the original Myst game. They didn't just have a 3D model of the book, they also had the full motion video of real actors and stuff, and there was a real book there, and that's the book they actually used. It's the Harper's New Monthly Magazine, volume L4, issue 312. It's December 1876 to 1877. It's a collection of like magazines, like a Reader's Digest, and that's the one that RIUM+ used in his blog. And his book is just so cool looking, and he has like a whole computer system inside of it. So if you want to do something more elaborate, definitely follow his build.
Right.
And his book, they eventually used in the Real Myst Masterpiece Edition they did,
right,
which is I think the version of the game we're going to have on our phone. They needed an updated graphic book for that, and they actually used RIUM+'s book. Like he's in the credits of the game.
That's canon now.
Yeah, so we're like, well, we'll use his as a reference.
For sure. The book we bought is a slightly different volume, different year, but it looks the same. We got this one because it was there were more of them. And it was quite a bit cheaper.
Yeah, we just went to a book buying website and found one for sale. It was like $40. The shipping was a little bit more because it's just so heavy. I mean, it's in pretty great shape. It's pretty fascinating flipping through it. There's some really cool illustrations in there and stories. But we are going to change it a little bit.
It will get modified.
For the good of a prop.
This book came out in 1884. It's 150 years old.
What does it smell like?
It smells like history.
It smells pretty good.
So yeah, really old book. It was about $40, which seemed pretty fair to me.
Yeah.
And we're gonna modify it. We're gonna make it into a Myst book. We're gonna start, I'm gonna start anyway, by working on the text on the cover. It says Myst, and I'm going to 3D model and 3D print some letters. So that's where I'm gonna get started. So why don't we jump over to the computer, get started. Over at the computer here, I am going to make my Myst book text. And I'm going to insert an SVG file that I made. So I drew this in Inkscape, and I should just be able to extrude my text. Should be scaled and everything. Just grab my text like that. Hit E. And let's say it's 2 millimeters tall. That's my text. I think I will put a fillet around all the edges. Something like that to get a nice rounded edge on my text there. I'll do that on the rest of them. I'm also going to model a frame to go around this so that I can set the letters in the book in that frame and they'll all be nice and lined up. here are my letters, all printed out, printed in ABS on my Ultimaker, as I am wont to do. And they look pretty great. I think they're gonna work out. I printed them and then hit everything with a bunch of primer. Just primed it all, even before taking it off of the brim that I add. I add a brim so that the ABS plastic actually stays stuck down. So before I take that off, I've just been clearing out the letters here. This frame is going to be used on the book to, before I glue the letters down, I'll use that and set the letters in there so that they're all nice and lined up. So figured I have a machine to print that for me, so I printed one of those.
That's so smart.
I'm doing my best, trying to work smarter, not harder. But then also I've got to now remove the brim on these letters and sand these nice and smooth, because I think we want to mold and cast these. Ooh. We're gonna cast them so that they have a really special finish, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But for now, it's time for some sanding. Letters are looking pretty good, nice and sanded. There is another step. I want to clear coat those, but before I do, I want to glue it down. I've got some epoxy here that I'm mixing up. I want to glue these down to the box I'm going to use to make my mold. And I'm going to glue it using this epoxy just by brushing a bunch of it on this piece of plastic here and then setting my letters on it.
Yeah, that way there won't be any little silicone sneaking underneath. That'll be a pain to trim off later.
Right. This seemed a lot easier than trying to brush glue on the back of these tiny little letters. And now we let it cure. Hey, it's all cured. These aren't gonna go anywhere. Fantastic. I'm gonna spray these down now with some aqua gloss to give it a nice glossy finish before molding. I wasn't super in love with the finish, so I went and sanded everything again. I sanded it up to a 1200, and that looks good enough for me. Now, it's time to make a box around this. I got my hot glue. We're gonna make a little mold box. Happy little mold box. And I would love to watch Bob Ross make a prop making video. It'd be great. Not gonna win any awards for this mold box. It's fine. It'll work just
It looks
fine.
beautiful.
All right, let's unstick my finger and let's mix up some silicone. Got my silicone here. This is Mold Max 29 NV. It is a much lower viscosity than most silicones, which is great. Should flow into all the little crevices on our letters. We have new neighbors, and it's
hammer time.
It is hammer time. No one told me. Anyway, it's just great to be part of this industrial community here. That's probably enough. 6 grams of this. Oh, 7, no! Start over.
Throw it out.
That's not true, it'll be fine.
Might as well throw this in the vacuum chamber, get out any bubbles.
Might as well. The NV is no vacuum. The idea is it's thin enough that bubbles come out of it, but we have a vacuum, so I might as well use it. This looks like it's banana flavored, which I like, but I shouldn't put it in my mouth. There.
I think you just opened it. There we go.
If there is silicone on your headphone cable, it wasn't me.
Thanks. We could go over there with our hammers.
Yeah. Now we pour. We pour it on a low spot and let it flow over everything.
Our banana cream will be ready for the bake-off.
It really makes me want to like banana cream pie for dessert. And that's that. Should be just fine. This is gonna have to wait overnight to cure. It is cured. My banana cream mold is all done. Today is a new day. We let it cure overnight. Now we can liberate our parts and hopefully have a really nice looking mold in there. Oh yeah, look at those letters. Those look really nice.
That is a good bake.
That's a good bake, no soggy bottoms. I guess we can start casting. Why wait? Do you want to do some casting, Britt?
Yes. Did a good job with this mold, Bill.
Thank you.
I like it. This is just a tiny amount of resin we're gonna need, so we have a couple extra molds in case I end up with extra resin. And we're hoping to cast this with metallic powders and just back it with resin. So I've got all of my supplies here. We got Smooth Cast 300 that we're gonna use. And for metal powders, I think we're gonna go with some brass powder. Ooh. And I'll make sure to wear my dust mask this whole time because you don't want to breathe in any of the metal powders. Just gonna take a little brush, try and jam as much powder as I can into the crevices. Might as well put the leftover inside the resin too, the leftover powder. Nice.
I wouldn't do them both at the same time.
I can do them both at the same time.
Oh, look at this hot rod over here. Hot shot, I guess.
Oh, too much of this side. Shouldn't have done them both at the same time. I mean, why didn't you warn me?
This is the side B going in.
I'm gonna dump my leftover powder in there too.
Good idea.
Yeah, it should sink to the bottom, which will be the top of the letters. Now the Smooth Cast 300 will cure white, and the internet told me that instead of tinting the resin black, I should try a reddish brown for the gold, and it should make it look a little warmer. So that means we have to get some tints.
Oh.
So
Just stick your hand in there.
So which one's the red? Oh no. That might say brown. Oh, and it's labeled red.
Hey.
Oh, that's so handy. All right. If I don't put a lot in there, it's gonna turn a really light brown, so I'm gonna go a little heavy.
Oh boy.
Yeah, might not cure all the way, but it's such a tiny amount of resin, we can just try again. I think I'm gonna throw away the red when we're done. So this is all getting pre-mixed into the side B. That way I don't have to worry about things curing while I'm making sure the color is the right thing I want, that the powder's all mixed in. Now the clock's ticking, but I think this has a pretty good amount of working time. Good couple minutes, it's not a lot of resin. It's not gonna get very warm. So I'll take my time. Scrape all the sides and the bottom. That looks pretty good.
Yeah, it does.
I was expecting like the little corners to get some bubbles in there, but I don't see any. Well, I have a lot of resin left over, so let's just do this. Oh yeah. Not too bad. It's a nice color brown. These are a lot thinner, so hopefully, oh yeah, they're a little bit flexible.
Yay.
Oh, I broke it.
Oh.
Get the glue. Yeah, these things are kind of fragile. Myst. That looks pretty good. It hasn't been buffed yet. Let me get some, this is really fine steel wool. Let's see if we can get these to be shiny. It's getting shinier there. We also have metal polish we can use. I should probably try and free these from their resin prisons though. This is casting number 2. The first Y, I buffed through the metal powder. You have to be careful and not go too heavy with the steel wool. These ones ended up being a little lighter brown, And after polishing them, they look awesome. I've just been using this metal polish and buffing all of the surfaces, and they look so cool. I love it. Now that the letters are ready, we're gonna set those aside because we have to work on the interior of the book.
For the screen inside of our book, I'm using this cell phone, and I need a way to hold it in the book. So I've designed this box here. The design is for this to rest in it, and I'm gonna put a couple pieces of foam in there so that this can be wedged in there and it'll hold it nice and secure. I'm just gonna make this out of some 1/8 inch Sintra, some plastic, and just glue it all together. Pretty straightforward. Little box is all done. It holds my phone, all nice like. I cut out some slots so it doesn't press the volume or power buttons. It doesn't fall out. I'm very happy with that. There's room down here so that you can reach in and pull the phone out to retrieve it and charge it and all that. Now it's time to install this, which means cutting a hole in a 150-year-old book. Okay, time to do the damage, figure out kind of where this is gonna go. I actually had to shorten this a tiny bit because this won't fit in our page. So I hacked a bit off there. I could still get this out, which is fabulous. And now I'm just sort of lining this up where I think it needs to go. There's our window. Time to start hacking away. So I'm gonna cut this out, but this page will have a smaller window that'll cover the book, or cover the phone anyway, and just expose the screen. This is as much for my benefit as yours. This, the one I'm about to cut, is the pocket for the phone. And this is gonna probably take quite a few passes. We could do it like Jimmy and do it on a laser.
His book caught on fire.
It did. All right, a couple pages. 3 pages down.
Give me the blue pages.
There you go. My hole has been cut. Only took about an hour or so. It's a lot trickier than you might think. Now let's see, my box fits in there all nice like. The book closes, fabulous. I think it's time to glue this in. Mixing up some 5-minute epoxy here, that's what we're using for our glue. I touched it already, making sure I glue all the cut edges of the paper there so that it hopefully all stays together. I've never quite done anything like this before though, so who knows.
I've always wanted to have a book with a hidden thing in it too. If this works out, we could make some more.
Think of the things we could hide in here too. Anything that's about the size of a cell phone. Here we go. No turning back now. All right, we can use that as a weight. We can use this to weigh down the pages. Now we let this thing fully cure. Our epoxy's all cured, looking good. I actually pulled the cover page off. It was loose already, so I liberated it and then I used a little Elmer's glue to glue it back in place, and that should also keep it closed over the opening right here. And now I have to cut a window so that we can actually see the screen through there. And I've got some measurements. I'm gonna plot that out and hopefully nail it on the first try. Okay, I've got my rectangle cut out. I'm very sure that it's in the right spot. And I have a little cutting mat. I'm going to carefully cut out this rectangle. Oh, good. More jackhammering.
They've upgraded from the normal hammering.
All right. Oh, that's cool. Hopefully it all lines up. It does!
Oh, that looks so good.
I need to turn it on. There we go. Yeah! Yes, that's fabulous.
That looks
oh,
really
awesome. That really sells the effect. I love it. Time to attach the letters, and I'm using this clip from the VR Myst trailer, which is coming out soon. I can't wait to play it.
Oh, I'm so excited to play VR Myst.
I'm using that to kind of figure out where the placement.
Go on.
I'm using this to figure out the placement of the letters and where they should go. I made this frame to place the letters in for gluing down, but they don't fit through there. So I'm just going to use this as a guide and draw where the letters are going to go, and then I'll take it away and glue it. All right, I can see that just fine. Just using a little super glue. Hey, look at that. That looks pretty fabulous.
I love it.
Letters are looking so good. I'm very excited. There was some text on the side here, this gold text. I tried some solvents, I couldn't get it to come off, so instead I used some flat black paint and a tiny little brush, and I filled them all in, and it did a pretty good job of getting rid of that text on the side there. There's just one more detail to finish this up, a little more decoration on the outside of the book that I'm going to paint on. I'm going to paint a gold line on there, and it's going to be about there. This masking tape can hug that guide on both sides, and then I peel that out, and that's where the line's going to go. Now we reveal. Oh, that looks great. I think it's pretty dry, but I'm going to buff it a little bit to sort of weather the edges. Yeah, just remove a tiny bit. Yes.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. A little buff. I think that's gonna do it. I think it's all done, Britt.
Oh my gosh, it's so cool.
Myst came out 27 years ago. We both played it back then, and now we have our own Myst book. How cool is that?
It looks really cool. You did a great job with it, Bill.
Yeah, it's so legit. The letters, I really love the letters, the shine on it. And what's more, we can play right on it. Look at that. I installed Myst on the cell phone, and we can look around Myst Island and get lost and try and solve puzzles. It's so cool. I just love how this one turned out, and I had so much fun making it with you.
I had fun making it with you too.
Thanks so much for the help.
You're welcome.
Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this project. We have tons more over on our website, and we have more to come, so you'll want to subscribe. A special thank you goes out to the members of our Extra Credit Club. It's because of them that we've been able to keep the light and the heat on this year in the shop, this crazy year of 2020. So thank you so much for the support over there. You can join and get access to weekly shop vlogs and behind the scenes projects from here in the shop, over on Patreon, or right here on YouTube memberships. That'll wrap it up. I'm gonna go to Myst Island.
Awesome. Don't forget your linking book.
Oh, so I can get back. Okay, ready?
I guess this is mine now.
As soon as they're done.
Maybe I'll put this at the end of the video.
Good gravy. Okay, oh, there we go.